It's November, and November means Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving means food, and that probably brings up some food memories. Welcome to Germanology. Apologies, it's been so long. I hope to kind of fix that over the coming days and weeks. But I wanted to specifically talk about Thanksgiving, and in talking about Thanksgiving specifically, talk about some foods that maybe bring up some memories for me around the holidays. So every family kind of has their own traditions when it comes to the holidays, whether it be Thanksgiving, it be Christmas. There are certain foods that will bring up memories of that holiday that are maybe unique to your family. And my family is no different. So there were two very specific foods that I want to talk about that were prominent, prominent at Thanksgiving. But before I do that, let me give you a little lay of the land. So I am from Indiana, northern Indiana, almost to Michigan. It's northernmost Indiana. And I grew up, my mom cooked with what I like to call a Southern sensibility. So I grew up eating fried green tomatoes. My mom used a lot of pork products in our vegetables, bacon grease, ham, bacon in our vegetables. So I grew up liking vegetables as a result. So she had very Southern sensibilities, and she learned a lot of that from her grandmother, which was my great-grandmother. So that's kind of the lay of the land. So now coming to what are these two specific foods? So again, these are things that may not be on your Thanksgiving table, and they may not be on anyone else's Thanksgiving table for all that. But these were two things that were prominent in our Thanksgiving meal. Number one, and this is an odd one that many of you probably are saying you've never heard of this or you've never seen this, is something called scalloped corn. So you may be familiar with scalloped potatoes. Basically, it's potatoes and they're cooked with cheese and butter, and it kind of almost becomes a little casserole-esque. This is similar to scalloped corn. So it is made almost in a casserole type dish. It's made with cream corn. You get like a bready binder, which I can't remember if it was crackers or if there was a bread of some sort. It has lots of cheese in it, and then it is baked, and it kind of comes out as a casserole, almost a stuffing-like consistency. That made an appearance on every Thanksgiving that I recall as a child growing up was scalloped corn, and my mother did learn that from her grandmother, my great-grandmother. And it was popular in my household and with all of my relatives. The second one and the last one, it's not an unusual dish, but the preparation of it maybe is a little unusual. So my mom made homemade noodles, and it was basically, she would cook it with the equivalent of like a chicken and noodles. She would cook it with some of the chicken bits, the gizzards, the livers, the hearts, etc. She would cook it in a chicken broth. So she would not use a traditional pasta maker, but instead would make all of this by hand, would roll out the noodles, would lay the noodles out. The noodles would often, when I was growing up, we had a unheated back porch, so she would often put it on the back porch to kind of dry the noodles out in preparation for the upcoming holiday, because she would be doing this the week in preparation for. And then she would drop the noodles down into the chicken broth with the chicken bits. She would also, I think she would throw like chicken wings in it that would cook with it as well to help flavor up the broth even more. And there you go, was chicken and noodles, and it made a prominent appearance on our Thanksgiving plate. That, of the two of them, that is the one that has persisted in my family, that when I go up at Thanksgiving, often my mom is still making homemade noodles for our holiday celebration. That's not something any of the kids or our wives have picked up. That still is my mom's unique thing to do. No one else has picked up the scalloped corn either. So both of those are things that are unique to my mom and are unique to my childhood. And as I consume those, it is very nostalgic for me. So there you go. There are two dishes that are very nostalgic for me around this time of year as we approach Thanksgiving. What are some foods that were perhaps unique in your household that are nostalgic for you to have at Thanksgiving that maybe none of the rest of us consume, like a regional or an ethnic type of dish? Is there something that you guys have on your Thanksgiving plate that no one else would know of or know why it is on your Thanksgiving plate? Let me know in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up and a like, and we'll talk soon about another topic that is top of mind